Good morning, everybody, and happy Taco Tuesday. Welcome back to the Fumble Live. We have so much to talk about. You guys are going to love this because this is the rare, very, very rare occasion that I actually disagree with LeBron James. We're going to talk about that. And do we have a Manning curse? We're going to get into that. But before we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. Give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. And now here's the Fumble Squad. I'm Jackie Ray. You can follow me on all things social media at Jackie Ray TV.
Sport Chris, you can find me everywhere at CK2K. You're disagreeing with LeBron James on something? I just want to know what it is. Man.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get into it. For our first need to know news is we gonna start the whole show off with this disagreement. So this is gonna be write it down, y'all. Screenshot it, do whatever, because it's probably gonna be the last time I say this publicly that I disagree with LeBron James. But right now we're 7th. In the West, we are, 12-12, which right now, if everything were to end right now, that means we would be in a play-in, just so you know how bad that is. The Warriors and the Suns are 20-4, and then, Utah 16-7. So we at the bottom. So it's not looking too good. And so Chris is like, okay.
I want to know what the disagreement is. Yeah.
Here we go.
No, I'm playing with you.
So I have been saying since last season, I have definitely hammered it home this season that I do not think that Frank Vogel is the guy to coach this team. I think when you have just LeBron as the superstar on the squad, then it's a maybe. But then when you add Russ, when you add Carmelo, even Dwight, when you have all these superstars on one team, I think that you really need to be a dope coach. It's one of those things that I've always said it's the detriment to LeBron for not going to college. I think that going to college is where a lot of people learn how to trust their coach. A lot of people learn how to kind of fall in line. But for LeBron's career, he's, for the most part, had the highest basketball IQ on most of his teams. I'll give him Miami for a second. But so I think there becomes a trust level. And I think for coaches in that situation, you just kind of wait for LeBron to walk into the situation and just handle it. And you just cheer him on as he does. So with all these criticisms that are going around about Frank Vogel, which there are a lot, I had to pull a couple tweets because this starts back long ago. The first one is, I don't know if y'all remember this game in October against Cleveland. We had 20 turnovers during that game. 3 of them came like back to back. And this person was like, will Frank Vogel call a timeout? How many turnovers in a row must you see? Facts. I don't ever get on Twitter during games, but I've found myself doing that a lot more. I have another user who, again, I just want y'all to see this narrative that's surrounding Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel should be fired. And now that he doesn't have Jason Kidd on staff, he's being exposed. I've said that as well, but, Chris doesn't always agree with me. So now we're in this narrative that, of course, they come to LeBron and then they ask him, how do you feel about everything that's being said about Frank Vogel? And I want to read you his quote because there's a couple problems that I have with his quote. So he says, this is one of them that this is the last part. This is the main part that I have, but I'm going to read you his whole quote. He said, I think criticism comes with the job. Frank is a strong-minded guy. He has a great coaching staff. And we as his players have to do a better job of going out and producing on the floor. We're a team and an organization that don't mind some adversity, that don't mind people saying things about us, obviously, because it comes with the territory. Everything that we do stays in-house when it comes to our preparation, and we prepare for our next opponent and how we prepare to get better. Frank doesn't care, and we don't care what people are saying either. So there's a couple of problems I have with this. Number one, he's saying, Frank's a strong-minded guy. I never heard anywhere in that quote, that's why I had to read the whole thing to you. I never heard him say, Frank's a great coach. Frank has showed us this that we never saw before. Frank has realized that Russ does this, I do that, and so maybe we should do this instead. He didn't give him any coaching accolades at all. That's a problem for me because basically what he's saying is Frank's a strong-minded guy. He knows that we're going to run this and we're going to do what we need to do on the floor. That's what I heard. And that's a problem for me because we've seen each of these guys have individual greatness because they're all individually great. What we haven't seen yet is them play great together. So now, Leo, you can throw up that last quote because this is another part of this. He says, LeBron says he has not seen enough to know if his team has a complete roster based on injuries, including himself. He says, I love what Rob and coach and the front office did to assemble this team. We look forward to the journey ahead. Again, none of this is saying that Frank is a good coach. He didn't say one thing that says, you know what, Frank is making us better. It's a process. Usually there is a learning curve when you change things up. Frank is changing some things that you guys are probably going to see. Not once did he say Frank was a good coach. This, to me, is just trying to keep the peace and knowing who runs that team, which I think is a problem. Chris, what do you think?
I mean, I agree. I think Frank Vogel, though I don't think that he's I'm not completely going to jump on board and say that he's a bad coach. I think he's a bad coach for that team. I've said that with you. And I think that, I think that there needs to be a change there for you guys with the teams you guys have. But I think the ultimate problem is if you do fire Frank Vogel, who are you looking at? That's the other problem. There's not many good coaches out there like that. Even if you look at your own staff, maybe in last year or year before that, you're probably thinking it would be Jason Kidd, right? But Jason Kidd is gone. I don't think you guys are looking at David Fizz. I think David Fizz will need some more time before he's ready to be a head coach again. He just got the assistant job back in the mix of things. Maybe in the future that might be it, but I feel like you'd go through the same problems with David Fizdale. Even as a Knicks fan and as bad as he was for us, I don't ultimately believe he's a bad head coach. I just feel like the situation didn't make sense. So that's my big thing with Frank Vogel. You get rid of him, and then who takes over, and will they be much better? That's the only reason why I could see them not ultimately getting rid of him, unless they have like this prodigy coach that they're ready to give over. But when you have that many vets, that might not be the case. Maybe Phil Handy, but I don't think he wants to ever be a head coach. He loves being, behind the scenes and getting players ready, stuff like that. That's just sometimes that's just how some coaches are. So I think the ultimate thing here is if you get rid of Vogel, then who do you replace him with? I think that's the ultimate question.
Right. So Cristobal says, Bron said he loved Rob and the coach. His name is Vogel. Haha. No, he did not say he loved Rob and the coach. He said he loved what they did to assemble this team. That's a little different than saying this coach is a person that I believe in that can get us over the hump. I love Frank Vogel as a coach. He's basically saying, I'm glad they let me play with all my friends. That's basically what he said. And so to me, that's the problem. Although I do think in my heart of hearts, and I know a lot of you guys, especially Kevin Lang in the chat, just feel like Russell Westbrook is the problem. I do feel like this is the team that can not only work, but work very, very well together. But it needs to be coached properly. And I don't think that is happening right now. I think that in as much as I love LeBron, he usually when he's coaching up a team, he's the centerpiece. He's the main guy, the only guy. The whole offense revolves around him. But now you have all these other guys that can help and can assist. He's never really had to be the guy that coaches up a team like that. You need a dope head coach, and I think that's the problem. I agree with Chris, though. I'm not sure what we would do if Frank leaves, but then now that's one of those things where we just say, okay, this is our building year to get the chemistry with these guys good because this, and then we seek a head coach in the offseason? Like, how do you make this work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine because I think that's the big problem that you guys have. No, seriously, that's the big question mark right there. Because I mean, I think ultimately, if they were to go the route of firing him, I think that they would give the job to David Fizdale because of your guys' remaining head coaches. Because Lyle Hollins is gone too. He's one of the only ones that did have a head coaching job before. And you know what? It might work. I've always said that David Fizdale's thing is he's not good with youth, and you guys don't have much of that. So maybe David Fizdale might be the guy that team needs. But that's my thing. I just don't know who you replace Frank Vogel with. That's the big issue. And I know you don't like hearing it, but I'm with Kevin Lang. I think that this is beyond Frank Vogel. I think this is a Russell Westbrook thing. I never liked that fit. I was hoping that it would work because I like Russell Westbrook. And I like the reunion and the story about him coming to L.A. I just didn't know how I felt about him being with a lot of players that do the same thing that he does. I mean, LeBron James is a better shooter now, but a lot of his points come in the paint. And Russell Westbrook is how he needs a guy like, I can't use a better example, but he needs like a Kevin Durant, a guy that knows how to shoot and score outside of the paint to partner up with him. And I feel like that he just doesn't have that with this team. So I agree with Kevin Lang. And I think that this is a point guard issue and then a Frank Vogel issue, but that's just me. And that's not calling Russ bad. I don't want people coming, you think Russ trash. I'm not saying Russ is trash. I just don't think the fit makes sense. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you've been saying that, and maybe it's just because this is something that I've wanted to see my entire life.
Westbrook
Seeing
coming to
him,
LA.
yeah, I wanted to see that my entire life, and then having him play with Carmelo and LeBron, it's just like the icing on the cake for me. So I'm just not ready to abandon that ship yet. I can see it when he's on the floor. It's like when he's dominating, there's other areas that are faltering, and we can't get it together at the same time. I can see it. But again, I think that that's something that can be coached up, and I just don't know. I do like the thought process that when you have a dope assistant coach like a Jason Kidd, some of these sins can be covered a little bit and they can work out a little bit better. But now that we don't have that, we're just kind of wailing in the wind. So hopefully what I am hoping is that Frank finally takes all these criticisms in and will man up. I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, right.
But
that you sound like a Knicks fan. You sound like a Knicks fan. That's what we over here talking about with Tom Thibodeau. We know his old self ain't gonna budge from what he believes and what he wants to do. That's not happening. These coaches, they gonna keep doing what they do because they believe that's gonna work so much to spite us even more. So I don't think that's gonna happen.
Right.
He's gonna stick to what he does.
Well, I don't agree with LeBron and jumping to, because LeBron he's the master of words and putting words together, right? He could have literally not said anything, because this basically to me says he's gonna do what we do, he does, and we're gonna do what we do, and I don't like that narrative. So I don't like this quote from LeBron at all. But that's all I got for Need to Know News. Okay. Chris, it's Taco Tuesday Post Up.
It is. That's a fair disagreement, but it's time for Taco Tuesday Post Up with your boy Chris. Yes, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We have a fun one today. I feel like I say it all the time, but I'm really excited about this one because just all kinds of craziness happened within just yesterday. And we're gonna start off with, if I can get my damn note shut. Let me get my note. There we go. We're starting off with Steph Curry. That's right, Stephen Chicken Curry. This dude was just out of his mind yesterday. Out of his mind. And it started somewhere else, which I'm going to get to, but we have to show you this highlight of this crazy shot. We've seen this, I feel like, a handful of times already this season alone. Nonetheless, the rest of his career, but he had a crazy shot last night. Check this video out.
He might get away with that against Orlando, but this is not how you play the final 19 seconds. And Steph banked it in to save the day. Curry's third three is...
My man Gray Harris too, but can't do nothing against that.
Ridiculous.
You can't do nothing about that. And the thing is, like he was just about to say, his reaction is it's just like, I do this. Like it wasn't even like, I made a half court shot. It's like, all right, cool, we needed that three. Like, come on, Steph. But I'm trying to tell you guys, Steph Curry, yesterday he just woke up great. He just woke up understanding the assignment because this is during the game. That was the end of the first quarter. But during the pregame and the warmups, these all happened in that same day. Starting off with this crazy touchdown 3-point shot that he had right here. Check out this entire craziness. Look at this.
Come on, Steph. Like, what are you?
I'm sorry.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry, Jackie. My fault. I heard Joe Schmo in the back say, "That's not enough, CK. That's not enough." All right. Well, how about this shot from the balcony? Again, same warm up. Same warm up. This is the same warm up.
Look at everybody looking at him like, bro.
So I'm supposed to be surprised that he's out there hitting that half court shot with a little bit of defense on him. No, Steph Curry's just been on another level this season, a completely different level, back to MVP Curry. And the way he's playing right now, I don't know who you giving the MVP to outside of Steph Curry. I mean, there was an argument for DeMar DeRozan, in my opinion, at some point, but that's gone. I think Steph Curry's been the guy. I don't know who else you can look at, but that'd be crazy. Complete turnaround. Clay's in the wings, ready to go. He was warming up in this right before Steph Curry was out there shooting those shots, looking great. But yeah, man, Steph Curry's different. Steph Curry is a whole different.
Wasn't there also a bounce basket that he did in that same warm up? I think I saw that yesterday.
Yeah, but it was in the three, so I was like, no, I gotta do the threes.
Oh.
Yeah. But he had that crazy bounce shot in the paint. Yeah, I could have added that too. But I was like, nah, if this man doing all these things from the 3-point line, and then he made that half court shot. Yes, of course he did. Because he's ready. He just woke up dangerous.
That man gets on. Go ahead.
He was saying Chris Paul for MVP. That was last year. I was voting for him last year. I don't know if he can pass out Steph Curry this year. Not this year.
Steph Curry gets on my nerves. That's all I'm gonna say. Like he's a very likable guy. He goes out there, he's having fun. He does all this stuff effortlessly, and you can have the best defender on the planet on Steph. It doesn't matter. You really have to defend him by committee because it's just you know. And I'm not mad at him for that. So I mean, I don't like it, but I'm not mad at it.
Right. But I hear that. I hear that. And look, I see my glove like against a G League team. It don't count. No, look. We're talking about a half-court shot.
Yes.
What do you mean? What are you talking about right now? You mean to tell me that the Bucks were going to defend a half-court shot better? You mean to tell me that I don't know the Nets were going to defend a half-court shot better? A half-court shot to half-court shot is difficult enough. I don't care who the team is. That's a crazy shot. That's a crazy shot. But yeah, Steph Curry crazy. Steph Curry's different. And like you, the Warriors are fun and all that. I don't have a dog in that race. So Warriors can be Warriors because that's the Western Conference. But yeah, craziest last night. And then also in another fun game that was going on in the Eastern Conference was this game in Charlotte where we had a few moments, but no moment was more embarrassing nor hilarious than this one by Kelly Oubre, which started with a crazy great play that ended very drastically. Take it away.
6 inches on it. But the Hornets steal the tap.
Do you see the time of the game too, chat and Jackie Ray? 119 to 119 in overtime after a jump ball where you had the opportunity there to put your team in the lead. There was 5 minutes left, but I felt that for Oubre because you can see when after he missed it, he's like,
his whole head just dropped.
Yep. SHAQTIN the fool incoming.
Hey, but you know what? But you know what? Like you said, there was 5 minutes left. You got to shake that off, get right back in the game. So
yeah, and I think the Hornets ended up pulling that one out. Let me double check because I did not. So. No, the Sixers did end up winning by 3. That's right. Sixers ended up beating them by 3 points.
Well, I mean, they would have won by 1 if he'd have made it. They would have won by 1.
Might have been closer. So momentum. There's a home game. Momentum would have been crazy after that play. True. You never know what could happen. Momentum is a hell of a drug.
True.
But yeah, rough play there for Mr. Oubre. But now we move over to football, and a lot of funny things. Lot of funny things going on. Now Sunday, we know about the Rams game and the Rams winning, and we know that speaking of MVP conversation, Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp is in a lot of people's vote or has a lot of people's vote for MVP in the NFL this season. And look, man, I don't know what it is about Los Angeles, but we got Kawhi Leonard or Kawhi.Leonard.exe, and now it looks like we have another Android playing for the Los Angeles Rams in Cooper.Kupp because I the way he responded to this question, here's the video.
Touchdown specifically, your defender went and blitzed. What did you see there? How were you able to use that to your advantage?
Yeah, they just had a little 3-deep fire zone, brought the nickel off the edge, safety dropped down. It didn't look like they were doing a replacement fire zone, so I knew at the back away we were going to get 3 pushing through. I had an opportunity to kind of run in there if I could beat my guy and just had to beat the safety to the end zone.
I saw that live too.
He said the fire in
and
what
when,
now?
And when he said it, I just wanted her to go, what?
Like that man was in football mode and he did not turn it off yet. He was still going, yeah, it's the fire zone and the upright and the left, right, and fire hydrant. And we did everything we could do. And then I saw that they didn't throw the McDonald's cup in there. Like, what are we talking? What? Cooper Kupp. Like that's dope. But man, I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. But he was, like that guy is a machine. A machine. Absolutely insane. But Cooper Kupp. Oh, I lost my chat. Hold on, chat. It's all over the place. Anyways, moving on to the next one. Now we're going back to last night where we saw the Bills and the Patriots. I gotta admit, I did not watch this game. I had other things going on, but I did hear that it was a crazy game in the fact that the weather was insane. I think it ended up being a low-scoring game, 14-10. Correct me if I'm wrong, or 17-40, something like that.
Yes.
But after the fact, and I think this was a Bills reporter that asked Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer Poirier. What am I giving him that extra French little touch? Poirier.
Oui, oui.
Poirier. Jordan Poirier. Poirier and Micah Hyde. Whatever. They asked him a question about letting the Patriots run all over them there in the second half in the final minutes of the game. But the way he asked it was really disrespectful. And if you see the response by these two dudes, you can see they were ready to throw hands. Check the video.
40 years since the team has won a game running that 2 times in a game. He's passing that 2 times. Is that embarrassing?
I mean, what
are we doing, bro?
What kind of question is that?
It's a question. The nation's going to be criticizing you of calling yourself.
All right.
I think we
Keep all right.
7 points.
Yeah,
14
14 to
14.
14 to 10. Is that the final score?
We made stops when we had to. They had one big run. I mean, they got good backs. All right. They kept coming back to a couple runs. I mean, I don't know how you want us to answer that question.
That's funny. Well, we'll remember that. I'll remember that.
And it got worse. But if you guys didn't hear the question was asked for the last 4 years, this team has beaten you in the running game. And then they had another big run today. Does that embarrass you? And that's why they both reacted that way. And I'm like, yo, what kind of question is that? But it didn't end there. And you thought, Mike is saying, I'm going to remember that. Oh, he remembered. And he's going to keep going. Here's the second part of that clip.
This goes in this respect. It's all about respect. I come here every single week and I answer your questions truthfully, honestly. I appreciate you guys. Don't do that. Don't do that.
My day, players.
And that part's the part that pisses me off. It cut off at the right time because the reporter goes on to say, back in my day, reporters would ask players questions like this and they would just answer the question. I was like, yo, Micah should have turned around. We should have a third clip because it should have turned into something else. It should have turned into something else because, that dude was really disrespectful. I don't care if he is a lifelong Bills fan and he got his dream job being a reporter and now he's here asking the tough – no. That is disrespectful. When these guys are just coming off the field feeling the type of way in a loss and you ask them a question like that, you're embarrassed. Like the Bills defense still did a solid job. It's just unfortunate. Like they mentioned, they let that one run go off. And in no way, shape, or form, I'm a Bills fan are going to defend the Bills. But you got to know when and how to ask those questions. That was not the way to do it. So that response by Micah, it was expected. It was definitely expected. Yeah. You got anything to add?
No, I mean, it was a very disrespectful question. And then for him, I like what he said at the end. He was like, I come in here week after week. I appreciate you guys. I answer your questions. Right. Don't do that. I come in here and I show respect to you. I fully expect you to show respect to me. That's when you say less. You don't follow that up with a back in my day because you know what? I can make it so you don't have another day in here. Maybe not by myself. Maybe I have to do this by committee. But you know what? Even if you do ask a question, now you put me on that point where I'm not even going to answer your question. I'm going to stare at you like you're stupid because I can. Because I'm just here so I don't
get fined. Players will do that.
Yeah, they'll do that. And you know what? I'm going to go in my locker room and I'm going to say, hey, that man in the front that talking about back in my day, make sure this is his last day of getting any questions, any responses from us. I would do that. But you're not going to come out here and disrespect me.
By his reaction, he knew who that reporter was because Jackie, the same reporters will come and ask the same question, especially when you're home or local games. You'll get the same scrum of reporters, and players will not be afraid to when they ask and they're doing a little Steph Curry or Michael Porter, wherever. They will not point at you and they will not hear your question. They'll hear everyone else, and they'll leave you dry for weeks. So that's good. That could happen. That's probably what's going to happen here. That's what he said. I'm gonna remember that. So the next time that they do get a run stop against the Patriots, because they're in the same division, so they're going to play him again, he's going to make sure he hears his question, hear what he has to say. So, yeah.
Yep.
And Mate said, want to be Mark Berman. Yeah, for Nick now. Knicks fans know Mark Berman is somebody that loves to stir the pot and say some unnecessary stuff and gets every player heated. But, yeah, I thought that. But from that craziness, and not even craziness, I agree with – I'm with Jordan Poirier and Micah Hyde, to be real with you. But from that to this one. For those who know me and watch any of my YouTube videos, whether it be on any channel I've ever put on, one of my favorite GIFs, whatever you want to call, is the video of my man in Popeyes that's just holding his cup, waiting in line to get his drink. But then he sees the dude recording him. And he's just confused. And he's looking back what's up, player? We have found him years later, and the kid is out here balling right now. The dude, as you see, from a meme to a champion, it is the same dude.
What?
Look at my man. He went from that classmate. He was just coming from the what's it called? The East Orange, like the high school team, East Orange State Championships, from Popeyes to state champion East Orange. And you can see he tried to do the look, but he was still excited about winning the game. But my man done grown up and is out here doing something with his life. This is how memes are supposed to go. I love this so much. I love when we get where are they now kind of thing, and it results like this. Look at my dude, man. Yeah, that's one of my favorite all-time memes, just because that dude's face, he just wants his damn fruit punch. You can tell he's just like, yo, why are you filming this? Like, look at this dude. He's like, why are you looking at me? Like, what do you want, man? I'm just trying to get some jokes. And then he said, like, Terry, I don't know, man, but look at my man. All grown up. Look at him.
That is fantastic.
Look at the face. He's just so innocent, man. And look at him.
I used that meme yesterday. Literally, somebody sent me something, and I sent somebody a gift back. That's my favorite meme.
I love that. I love it so much. But yeah, man, that'd be dope. I wanted to go full circle. I don't know how good the kid is. I was looking to see. I don't know if he's good enough to where he can go next level. I really hope that's the case, because this would be perfect. That would be the perfect full circle moment, is if he went pro and going from just a meme to then doing something like this. I think that'd be hilarious. And even if he doesn't, like, good for him though, man. But anyways, that's the perfect way to end post up here on this fine Taco Tuesday. But Jackie Ray, can you let us know what we not gonna do today?
Yes, let's get into what we not gonna do. This one is hilarious because I personally believe in curses. I don't know if you guys do. I believe the Kardashian curse is real and still alive and in effect. Explain Kanye. Anyway, so we are moving on to a new curse. This one's the Manning curse, which hopefully you guys have seen. I think you have to have ESPN Plus to actually see it. There's a whole bundle now you can do free advertisement, but it is worth it. I do not watch it all the time because it's so good. It's kind of distracting. But if you do watch it, you'll notice that right now we're not having a ton of athletes on the show. So I'm going to explain this. I'm just going to go week by week with this. All right. So week 1, Russell Wilson and Travis Kelce were on the show. And then the Seahawks and the Chiefs both lost the next week to the Titans and the Ravens respectively. So that's week 1. No conspiracy theory, just a one-off. It happens. Then week 2, Rob Gronkowski goes on there, and then the Bucs lose to the Rams. Okay, it's only 2 times. Let's go to the next one. Then Rams had Matthew Stafford on there, and then they lost to the Cardinals the following week, 37 to, I forget what the score was, but and then Brady had not picked up on that curse yet, because at this point it's still just a rumor. So he goes back on the show, and then Who Dat Nation wins week 7. We won 36-27. So now it's become a thing. So now it's like, okay, wait, is this really happening? So I think the week 8 game was the one that finally made everybody go, hell no, we're not going back on this show, because that's when Josh Allen, who of course is the Bills quarterback, he went on the show, and then they lost to Jacksonville. So I think that's when everybody was like, oh no, hell no. So now what you'll notice is the show's still continuing, but now active players have openly said, we're not going on this show. So I want you to take a look at this tweet, which I think is hilarious. It says, David Letterman, Aqib Talib, and Joe Buck will be guests on tonight's Monday Night Football ManningCast. The ManningCast has now gone 3 straight shows without any active players. 6 active players went on the shows from week 1 to 8, and all of them lost the following week. If there had been 1 win in there, we wouldn't be talking about this, but all of them lost the following week. I think this is a fair conspiracy. Like I said, if you haven't watched it, I'm gonna show you some tweets that show you exactly how I feel about the show, because it's one you watch if it's not a game that you really care about. It says, watching the traditional broadcast anyway, since it's my team playing. When I'm on ManningCast, I never pay attention to the actual game. Facts. Right. Unless it's like, I mean, that one that Marshawn was in, I was laughing so hard at him for getting not to cuss, and then their conversation is so good, and hearing them really call out the intricacies is great. And then you look up, and then it's halftime, and you're like, oh damn, did I even watch it down? Because it's that good. Right. And then this next one says, ManningCast is too entertaining, makes me forget there's an actual game on. That's facts. it must be distracting to the players too, because they must be like, damn, I was just on ManningCast, and they just keep this all feel good, not enough intensity, because all of them lost the following week. I co-sign on this conspiracy. I think it's a good conspiracy. Mm-hmm. Don't go on there. The curse is real. We now have the ManningCast as a curse. Chris, do you believe that the curse is real?
I mean, the proof is in the records, I guess, but you know that most pro athletes are really superstitious about, especially in the NFL. So whether we believe it or not, you could tell they do, because that's a reason why no current player was joining the show this week. Because like I said, NFL players are hella superstitious. They all have some sort of different routine or different thing that they do before a game or after a game. All of them. I guarantee you all of them, or at least 90% of each team has some kind of, superstitious routine that they do, whether they wear the same, like a sleeve every single game, because that's just how, they run, whatever the case may be. So I think that they definitely believe in that for sure. And I mean, if there's no wins, I mean, our Saints, we fell victim to it. So maybe it's real. I don't know, but we'll see what happens this week. I mean, we won't see because no one showed up, so I don't know. So we won't know. So I guess I did.
I'm surprised. Right. I'm surprised Tom Brady didn't catch on to the curse earlier. Because he still wear his college pads or something like that.
Right. I don't know if he still does, but he did for years. He probably
years. Yeah. So that was his superstition. So I just see him, although he did try to throw the trophy in the ocean and in the lake, so maybe he just don't care about superstitions. I don't know. Anyway, so I co-sign on this curse. I saw somebody in the chat say, yeah, they are very superstitious. Everyone has a routine, especially when you compete competitively. I had a routine. Everybody has a routine. And if the proof is in the pudding, you don't go on the damn show. So I'm going to co-sign on this curse. But that's all we got for today, except I have to say one thing. You guys, you see Chris and I on the air, but you hear Leo in the background, and our producer, Arthi, is the one that gets all this content together for us and puts it out there so we can deliver great content to you. So you have to attribute all the greatness of this show to Arthi, and today is her last day. She's moving on to bigger and more financially rewarding things, so we were super excited for her. But I had to give her a shout out, guys, because this show would not be possible without her. 3 years ago this month, she hired me, so I wouldn't even be here without her. We were bought out. Everything has just been cultivated by this woman, so super excited for all that is coming for her. But I had to shout her out before we left today. Chris, you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, I was with the company before she got there, but I was just the editor for the Fumble. And then she was the reason why I started hosting, because she's like, yo, when you're on there, you're actually know what you're talking about and you're kind of funny. So it'd be cool if you came on hosting. Would you be willing to host full time? And then I started hosting with you guys. Been the greatest thing. I know I left and then came back because I had other things going on. But yeah, a lot of that had to do with Arthi. And I think that, this show wouldn't have gone as far as it did without her coming in here and breathing some more life into it, because it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, really gonna miss you, Arthi. You still gonna be my partner in the balloon game, and when we play beer pong, like we still gotta make that happen, Arthi. You gotta make sure we gotta go give them that smoke. We gotta do it.
Yep. All right, you guys, wish her well in the chat, and we will be back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Enjoy your Taco Tuesday and be safe.
Bye.